Hi everybody, I'm Alicia with Plant Addiction in Central Pennsylvania, Zone 5B, 6A, and these are my Hoya plants. So this plant here, I believe I got this at Lowe's probably about 4 years ago now, and it was a little tiny plant in a 6-inch pot. It only had like tendrils, maybe 6 inches long, that's it. When I got it, and as you can see, it is variegated to some degree. I think it's a Hoya Carnosa Rubra. It didn't have a tag on it when I got it, so I'm not entirely sure. I think that's what it is. If somebody knows different, please leave it in the comments section. Right now, it has 9 flowering peduncles on it. In various phases of flowering. I don't know if you can see them all. They're very pretty. Some of them smell like, I think they smell like chocolate. I don't know. But there is 9 of them on here somewhere. And this thing just keeps growing and growing and growing. This one over here is a Hoya Compacta. It just started to flower as well. We're just started getting the summer weather here for about a month now, so it's starting to flower out. I see it's starting to get a couple more peduncles in different places here. These plants are awesome. They just keep going and going and going. And as you see, this is not dead, just so you know. A lot of people don't realize that this is how they grow. This is not dead. There's nothing wrong with this, even though it kind of seems like it because there's no leaves on it. But they grow these first. They grow these things out first, and then they will develop leaves and flowers, as you see, on them after they grow these. So don't cut these off. If you cut these off, you're cutting off possible flowers and leaves later, okay? So these guys require very fast draining soil. They don't like to have their feet like soaking wet. They like to be watered well and then dry out. And what I noticed with these is they do the best. Like some people keep them consistently watered, and I noticed that mine perk up and do the best when I let them dry out a lot. The soil is hard as a rock, pretty much. I let them dry out on my moisture meter. I told you I would be doing the moisture meters. On my moisture meters, it usually gets down to a 2. I like it down to a 2 before I water it, and I will drench it. I will let it soak all the way through because it's in like a peat-based mix, so it's hard to wet peat-based mix. This is the same mix it came in when I bought it. I never repotted it because they like to be root bound, and as you can see, it's been in this 3 or 4 years now. I am losing off some of the dried up flowers that have been spent already. I should have cleaned those off first. But because the soil peat is hard to re-wet, I will just soak it all the way through, let it run through. It's like it's in a rainforest, and then I will do it again 2 or 3 times so that soil gets really moist. And then I don't water it again until it gets down to a 2 on my meter. It really likes to dry out a lot in between. Just make sure that you keep up with it though, because as soon as it gets down to 2, don't let it get past that. It doesn't want to dry out completely and totally. It just likes a little bit of moisture left in it before it gets watered again. And I do the exact same thing with this one here. With this one here, you really want to be careful when you go to water it that you don't really get the leaves wet. Anytime I water any of my plants, I don't water the leaves. Okay, I water the soil, not the leaves. That way it's not going to cause any kind of bacteria or fungus to develop on top of leaves, and the leaves won't rot off, and then you end up with a bare plant at the top. Also, I don't take this one outside, mostly because if this gets mealy bugs or aphids or spider mites or anything like that, it's going to be very difficult to eradicate the pests. With all these cracks and crevices and the curls and things like that, it would be very, very difficult to treat. Even drenching it with something, you're going to miss spots. So I don't take this one outside at all. This one goes out on my front porch in the summer. It's a west-facing front porch, and I keep it right up against the window with a sheer curtain between the window and the plant. And it gets a lot of sun there, and it's just right for it. Once I put it out there, it starts to develop flowers within a couple of weeks. As you see here, it's got one here, and it's got another one developing somewhere else here, down here on the bottom, that aren't quite in flower, they're budding out, and then there's a few more here in the back. So once it gets enough light, and these guys like a lot of light, they don't want pure sun, all day sun or anything. This one will get sun in the morning, usually on my east facing porch. I have it on the edge of the porch, so it's right out on the edge. And it gets sun from like 9 until 12 or so about 3 hours morning sun. I think that's why it's doing so well. And I think that's also why you can tell in the wintertime, the variegation, it loses its variegation. And in the summertime, the variegation comes back on it because it's getting that sunlight that it needs. In the wintertime, I'm only giving it the medium to high light under my grow lamps. Right now, last winter, it was only getting about 8,000 lumens. This year, I'm going to bump that up to 10 to 12,000 lumens, and I'm going to be expecting a lot of this variegation to come back then. It's not getting enough light during the winter time, so I plan on adding more grow lights to do that. Also, these guys, if you water them on the top too much, they're going to go bald, so you don't want to do that. So you try to like root out a little spot in the middle up here on the top and keep that open. You can use like some toothpicks or something to keep that area open so that when you water it, you're not getting the water on the leaves. But I do this the same way. I water it all the way through several times, and then I don't water it again until it's down on the 2 on the meter. And I guess that's about it. If you like my videos, please like and subscribe, and I'll be bringing more plant-specific videos to you soon. Thank you.